want to tell you about a girl named Danielle. She likes swimming, SpongeBob, Mexican food, writing poetry, getting her nails painted, and Harry Potter books. This Christmas, she really wants an iPod. Sometimes she's moody, but mostly she is open and eager to be loved. When she smiles, huge dimples crease her chubby face, and they are capable of melting hearts. She's much like any other 11-year-old girl in America, except for one critical difference. Over the past year of her life, she has been trafficked up and down the East Coast by a 29-year-old pimp and sold nightly on Craigslist to adult men who ignore her dimples and baby fat to purchase her for sex. Sadly, Danielle is one of many faceless victims who are all over the world. Human trafficking is an issue here in Louisville, and I encourage you all to take a few steps to help prevent it. Today, we will look at the problem of human trafficking, then its causes, and finally, some steps we can take to create solutions. According to CNN, 79% of people trafficked are used in the sex trade. So you may be thinking that this doesn't matter to you. You may even believe that you don't know anyone who's been involved in this. But I guarantee that you have encountered someone in your lifetime who has been affected by trafficking. I personally spent the entirety of my senior year studying the topic of local sex trafficking. I conducted interviews, attended speaking engagements, wrote a paper, and completed a semester project on it. Let's first look at the issue at hand, human trafficking in Louisville. Human trafficking is the forcing of people into being transported within or to another country for purposes of exploitation. While many people believe that slavery ended in 1863 with the Emancipation Proclamation, it is evident not only through research, but through observation that slavery is still present within human trafficking. A recent Wave 3 investigation found that vulnerable women and children are being trafficked right here in Kentucky. In fact, the #1 hotel where sex trafficking occurs in Louisville is the Red Carpet Inn. This is only 5 miles from my own home. I was naive to believe that trafficking didn't happen here. But now that I'm aware of the issue, I can't ignore it. And neither should you. Human trafficking in Louisville spikes at certain times. According to the Courier-Journal, a study of 20,384 sex-related online ads over a 15-month period found that from mid-April through the end of Kentucky Derby weekend, there were more than 1,800 sex ads posted online. While Derby time is the most popular, things like NCAA games, Forecastle, and other large-scale events draw traffickers to Louisville. Now that we know about trafficking, let's look at some of the causes. There are many causes to trafficking, but it usually stems from a young girl who wants to feel loved and a man who wants to exploit her for money. According to author Rachel Lloyd, who is a victim herself, in her book, Girls Like Us, the average age that a girl enters the sex industry is 13 years old. And contrary to popular belief, most victims aren't kidnapped. In some places, parents willingly sell their children to traffickers because they need the money. Most often, however, young girls are deceived. They are led to believe that their pimp is their boyfriend and that she is selling sex so they can save up and have a life together. Young girls are the most vulnerable because they are so easily coerced. I would now like to share with you some victim stories. Sarah, Trisha, Rebecca, and Carla. Sarah just wanted to feel loved, and a 30-year-old man showered her with gifts. He told her she had to sell sex so they could save up and move away together. Trisha just wanted to rebel against her mother. She started dating an older man and quickly found herself in over her head with no way of escape. Rebecca was scolded by a nurse for being a prostitute. That nurse had no idea that Rebecca didn't have a choice. Carla gave an interview to CNN in which she states that by her own estimate she was raped 43,200 times after falling into the hands of human traffickers. She says up to 30 men a day, 7 days a week, for the better part of 4 years. 43,200 times. It's an incomprehensible number. Each of us should feel an individual responsibility to help end the atrocities that are around us each and every day. This is why we should take steps to help prevent human trafficking. So now, let's look at some solutions and how you can help victims both locally and globally. Let me tell you about an app called Trafficking. It enables hotel guests staying anywhere around the country to help law enforcement fight human trafficking. It enables guests to enter information about the hotel that they are staying at, including the hotel name and their room number. Then they upload 4 photos of the hotel room. Investigators across the US can then cross-reference those photos with photos of trafficking victims that typically appear online, and they look for similarities. So far, the app has accumulated more than 1.5 million photos. And according to developer Abby Stylino, they have an 80% success rate of returning the correct location to investigators within the first 20 hotel matches. This app allows you to intervene without getting physically involved. Now I'm going to ask you to do something you wouldn't normally hear in the middle of a speech. Take out your phones. Yeah, take out your phones. I have a number I'd like for you to put in. 1-888-373-7888. I'll say it again. 1-888-373-7888. This is the national hotline for human trafficking. You can call it any hour of the day to report tips or seek services. According to traffickingkentucky.org, some signs to look for and report are someone who is confused about where they are, someone who has few personal possessions, and someone who isn't allowed to speak for themselves. It will never hurt anyone to report suspicious activity. In fact, you may just save a life. In conclusion, human trafficking is a prevalent and pervasive issue right here in Louisville. Today, we looked at local sex trafficking, its main causes, and the steps we can take to help end trafficking. Trafficking seems like a huge issue that's impossible to tackle. And it is impossible to tackle alone. If each and every one of us took a few minutes out of our day, we could be the positive change. These may seem like small things, but in the end, it could mean the difference between life or death for a victim. Danielle, or some other little girl like her, is waiting to be rescued, probably mere miles from where we are right now. Rescue her. Slavery hasn't ended. It just has a new face. Help to end it once and for all. Thank you.